Hey guys, what is going on? It is Chris here. Anyway, we are looking at some NASCAR Xfinity Series here for today, for Saturday, June 13th. Decided to do a video for you guys for NASCAR. It is my first ever NASCAR video, so I know NASCAR pretty well. This is the Xfinity Series. But like I said, I will be looking at some stuff on my phone just to do the best that I can because, like I said, I don't know everything from memory since it is not one of the sports that I usually do. But obviously no NBA, so doing some other stuff. So yeah. Anyway, we are looking ahead to it. Last week was pretty good for us, as you see. A lot of us did pretty good. Put in $10, won 1,200. So definitely not too shabby there, and also not too bad here. So yeah, as normal, if you guys need some NASCAR help, just message us on our Twitter. That will be down there in the comment section below, and I definitely would love to help you guys out as well. So that is mostly it for the recap there. Anyway, this week they are racing at Homestead Miami Speedway, um, which is about what, a mile and a half track. Like I said, I don't know it completely, but relatively not too bad of a track here. This is, like I said, for the Xfinity Series. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is racing here today. Obviously, he doesn't race anymore, so definitely a little guest appearance for him. So definitely not too bad. So basically, if you guys don't know how NASCAR works, you get certain points for where you finish. So obviously, if you finish first, you don't do too bad. Let's see if I can find the rules and scoring. Here we go. So for every place that you gang, so let's say you start 25th and you finish in first, you get 24 extra points just for that. Obviously, you see their laps led and everything like that. And then this is what you get for finishing as well. So first and so on and so forth as you see. So yeah, I mean, let's say if you got a guy starting first place, you're really confident in him, but he crashes and finishes, let's say 38th. Well, you're kind of screwed because that's minus 37 fantasy points right there for him crashing, and then wherever he finishes 38th, he only gets 6 points for. So yeah. So anyway, the big thing for NASCAR is how many how many positions that you gang. That's the big thing there. So obviously you're going to see a lot of chalk if, let's just say, Dale Earnhardt was starting 35th place. A lot of people are going to be on him because obviously they're expecting him to finish within the top 10. So if that makes any sense. So you're looking for guys that usually finish in the top 15 or anything like that that are starting way in the back. And usually DraftKings, if they are starting in the back and they know that they can move up, they are usually going to price them up. So that's kind of what we got going on this week. For the most part, there's not too many guys that are really are a salary saver. For the most part, it's just kind of a spend up day. And yeah, most of these guys that I'm going to be looking at are going to be in the top 10 here, top 15. So yeah, so we're going to look at a couple guys here for sure. I think one of my top guys here is Justin Allgaier. A lot of people are going to have him. Keep in mind, like I said, a lot of these guys are going to be pretty popular. For the most part, this guy finishes in the top 10 pretty well. Has some fastest laps and laps led. Doesn't have to worry about Kyle Busch this week. Allgaier looks pretty good. Don't really know how he does on this track. Like I said, I don't have all that information for you. But overall, he's usually a pretty good guy. One of my top options here today. So um, we're going to go. Like I said, I'm not going to give you a full lineup, but a couple like a core four, core five, the guys that I'm looking at. And I think Algier is probably one of my top cores. Should easily finish in the top five. Plus, get 5 or 6 extra points for place difference, and also should also lead some laps tonight. And we'll see how he does. Got him for about 75, 80. Definitely could get you a little bit more than that, but for 10-9, definitely don't mind spinning it up for him. Don't mind Dale Earnhardt. Don't know how he's going to do, though. The recent form, I guess, like I said, he hasn't raced for a while, but he's racing a lot of guys that he should be able to beat, so I don't mind going Dale Earnhardt. Also, he should be popular just because of the name. Allgaier, not bad. Chase Briscoe, I'm looking at him. Try to find a little bit cheaper guys here that I'm looking at. I don't mind Joe Gaff Jr. He's a little bit cheaper. Definitely a guy that isn't the greatest. He is starting 32nd. So as you see, his recent finishes aren't too bad. 19, 19, 13, 26. So I mean, if he even finishes in the top 20, definitely not too bad. Could get you 35, 40 fantasy points. So don't mind Joe Gaff here for only 7,400. Definitely could save you a little bit of money. And like I said, hopefully, depending on no crashes, he could do pretty good for you here. Um, uh, other couple other guys I don't mind is Alex Libby. He is a little bit expensive, 89, because they are expecting him to finish relatively well, and he is starting 36. So this is definitely a guy that could finish in the top 20 for sure. Another guy that could get you anywhere from 30 to 40 fantasy points. But he's also had some not the greatest finishes as well, as you see. But overall, don't mind him. He is 89, so he's not that cheap, but still a pretty solid option there for you here tonight. BJ McLeod is another guy that I'm looking at. There we go. Get this all settled. Got him starting 22nd. He's only 5,200, so he's definitely probably in my core. He can easily finish in the top 20, top 15. Another guy about probably 30, 35 fantasy points, which is totally fine. That's kind of what you're looking for here. You need to spin up for some bigger options, so those are kind of guys that you're looking at to help get you some extra fantasy points there. So that's what I'm looking at. Don't mind. Let me see here. Another guy. Um, give you a couple more guys I'm looking at. Anthony Alfredo, another guy that should be pretty good starting 21st. Another guy, like I said, should finish easily in the top 15, maybe even in the top 10. And I expect him to be relatively popular, as you see when he starts. Even in the middle of the pack, he still finishes pretty good. So get you about 40, 45. And that's one guy I'm liking. So that's what we got there for your core. Other guys that I like I said, I like Cedric, Briscoe. If you can afford those guys, don't mind them. Michael Annette starting 17, pretty solid. We did mention Alex Libby starting 36. You could easily afford to him and pick one of these guys if you want. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Don't really need anyone else. If you desperately need someone, you could go Ryan Siege. But like I said, I don't know if you really need to go that way. That could get you one of the big boys if you need them. Cedric, Briscoe, Earnhardt. But I really don't mind settling with if you need to go Annette or Libby, settling with one of those guys and spin up to get one of these guys up here. They're all pretty good, solid options. Like I said, Cedric is probably one of my more favorite options. Sorry, one of my favorite options in that area. Um, who else we got going on? Chase Briscoe, obviously pretty solid as well. If you could get him, not too bad there. So that's kind of what we're looking at. BJ McLeod, don't mind him. As I mentioned, as one of the cheaper guys. Alex Libby, not too cheap, but definitely could get you some positions. And obviously, a lot of the big boys up there: Burton Jones, Annette, as I mentioned, Noah Gragson. They're all starting up there. So if something happens to them, if they wreck, then obviously you're in some serious trouble. But hopefully they do not. But for the most part, not too many good value guys out there tonight. Um, most of the guys that should finish in the top 10, top 15 are already priced up there and starting within the top 15. So that's what we got going. So like I said, Libby, McLeod, Joe Gaff Jr., Burton Jones, some of these guys like that. And then obviously your big spin ups, Earnhardt, Chase Briscoe, Al Geyer, Cedric. Don't mind a couple of those guys at all. And I think that is mostly it here. Let me go see if I'm looking at anyone else. Tommy Joe Martin could be a GPP play here in this one. Joshua Williams could be a GPP play, but that's mostly it. So yeah, that's who I'm sticking with. Those are my cheap guys, and like I said, I'm spinning it up for the most part. So those are your guys there. So quicker video. Like I said, sorry it was a little iffy. Like I said, the first one doing it. I don't have all the track record and all that stuff for you guys, and so like I said, I apologize for that. But yeah, we'd love for you guys to come join us. Like I said, did pretty good last week, so all you need to do is just message us on our Twitter down there below, and we'll get you guys some extra help and I'll get you all set up. So that is it. Quicker video. Like I said, a little sloppy. I apologize, but like I said, it was the first one, and hopefully we can improve on that. So, yeah, if you guys are new here, hit that sub button. We do videos almost every single day. Uh, Recently haven't been doing it as much just because the sports are all so spread out. Probably will be doing a golf one on Thursday for you guys, and maybe a NASCAR here tomorrow for the regular the big boys. It's usually the sprint series, but they changed it, and yeah. So that is it, and yeah, hit that like button. I do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys here a little bit later on. Hopefully, you guys enjoy your weekend as well.